Hello everyone, this is Veronica Lacument. I'm going to be going over how to do liquid latex rod effect. Promise this isn't a cat video, ignore the cat in the background. I have my liquid latex, just a little bit of it in the bottom of my cup. I have a sponge, a metal tool, rounded edges this time. Got it for $1 at a ceramics store. I have my zombie wheel. I have cadaver gray, a palette that is just more, it's blood red Ben Nye, and then of course I've got my neutral setting powder. Alright, first things first, I'm going to put down my foundation. I'm using the dabbing motion because it gives a more even, non-streaky cover than just wiping it on. Because when you wipe it on, it'll streak and it won't look as good. And it won't cover as much. There you go. Nice gray hand. Alright. Next, I am going to put down a quick layer of neutral set. And now for latex. Just get it on there, random, stipple it on, and you'll do several layers for your liquid latex. In between, you'll want to let it dry. If you have a hairdryer, you can make it dry faster. I usually do at least 2, usually 3 layers. And you can tell when you're ready for your next layer because it'll dry clear. It'll also be sticky. And that's totally normal. So try not to get your fingers in it because it will be sticky in between. Now I have 3 layers down. I'm going to go ahead and build my rod. You can do this with your fingers, just by pinching, or you can use the metal tool, which is what I tend to do. And I drag and I pull open wounds. Oh no! Ta-da! Alright. Next, I'm going to do more setting powder, because otherwise it's going to be super sticky and difficult to work with. I'm using a blush brush. There we go. Alright. For this point, you may actually want to get a round paintbrush just to get into these areas with your red. I'm going to start with my blood red that I already have. I'm going to get a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the brush. And then I'm just going to paint inside. And don't worry if you get outside. That's fine. It's a very random look that you're going for. And sometimes you can do, let's see. Refocus, there we go. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm going actually under the latex with my brush to get into that little one and get all the edges. I'm going to do that again for this one. And this is really good for getting the little tiny holes that crop up, like are on here, on this one here. And just, get all the big holes and as many of the little holes as you can. If you've got a big blister like I have right here, just make sure your brush goes in and under so that during the course of whatever your makeup is being worn for, as the latex rips away, which it will, it'll be obvious that it's ripping away from flesh. Alright, I'm going to go to my darker color from the zombie wheel, my darker red now. I mean, you can go with just this, but it looks better when you're adding other darker elements and shadows. Looks more realistic. I have a text message. Alright. You see, I'm not being all that exact. You don't have to be with this sort of thing. In fact, it's better if you're not. And if you have flaps like this, getting makeup in on the flaps, totally good. Say that's your skin and it's just peeled off. And make sure you just get a little bit of depth everywhere on what you're doing. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to do... while I still have red on my brush, I'm going to get my dark blue, just because I like to be something of a perfectionist. And I'm just going to do it, add that depth and meaty look underneath. Just dabbing it in. Alright, from here I'm going to take my ripped up latex sponges that I have, and mostly going to focus on the green and the yellow. Let's start with the yellow. I'm just going to be going around these wounds with the yellow. You could start with the yellow and then go over the red. I like to start with the red so I've got a better idea of what I'm doing. Stay. Get my, don't have the best stand for my, there we go. There we go. And remember, random is good. Alright, I've got the yellow down. I'm now going to load it with green. Yes, there's still yellow on my sponge. That's totally fine. At this point, I'm going to get my sponge into my rubbing alcohol, dab it off on my paper towel here, and get more of my green. Probably got a little too much of the alcohol. Yeah, I did. That's, it goes. You just wipe it off on your paper towel. Whatever you have for wiping it off. Okay. Now, I'm just gonna lightly stipple in here. And then I'm going to go for my dark color. To add some necrotic and bruising type feel to the area. Just the tiniest little touch of rubbing alcohol to get it a little bit more liquid, because these are grease paints, so water won't do anything. But a little bit of rubbing alcohol will. And then some red. Because that gives a look of ruptured blood vessels and the like. If you get too much, just tap it with your finger afterwards. Blends it in really nicely. See that? Okay. It sort of plays into the abrasion stuff that I was doing yesterday too, with the very light stippling and building up layers. Now I'm just going to take my brush again, go back over to make these areas pop, and then we'll just put some fake blood in. This is where your metal tools come in handy again. So you really don't want to get your brushes in your liquid blood because it's a pain in the butt to get them out again. So now you'll see how it's beating up on the surface. That's because it's on the grease paint. So sometimes you just have to work it in a little bit. Work it in, make it stay, that sort of thing. Another thing that can help is using your powder, your setting powder, which I'm going to do again real quick. And you'll see it dull the color, but that's why you want your finishing spray. I don't have that brought out with me right at this moment, but I will go and get it. There's that. Gonna get more blood. Blood, blood, blood. Just work it into your wounds. Expect to, get it on your clothes. So don't wear a fancy dress unless it's part of your costume and you're not worried about, ruining it with fake blood stains. What I'm doing here is trying to get the flap covered so that it's actually got the blood look of the flap of skin. Same with the other places. And I'm also, tucking some blood in under the edges, which is cool. It helps. Once it gets a little bit more dry, it'll help the liquid latex stay a little bit better as well. So You can sponge some